The Riverfront Conspiracy. It was a crisp October evening in 2024 when my life turned into something straight out of a thriller movie. I was sitting at my dining table in my family's riverfront cabin in Willow Creek, Virginia, surrounded by a mess of medical bills that felt like they were mocking me. Each one screamed $92,000, the cost of my grandmother's leukemia treatment before she passed 7 months ago. I'm Ethan Brooks, a freelance software developer, which is just a polite way of saying I fix coding disasters from home and hope clients pay on time. For months earlier, I'd been laid off from a decent tech job because, apparently, having a family member's medical debt makes you a liability. Perfect timing, right? The cabin, a cozy retreat my grandmother bought in the 1970s when riverfront land was still affordable, was all I had left of her. It sat on 2 acres of serene property, with security cameras blinking their red warnings after a break-in attempt last year reminded me that even paradise has its shadows. I was staring at a photo of Grandma on the mantel, her smiling with a trout she'd caught right off our dock, whispering my 100th "I'm sorry" of the week, when the sound of car doors slamming jolted me out of my gloom. Peering out the window, I saw a convoy of sleek Range Rovers parked in my driveway like they were staging an invasion. Out stepped Vanessa Reed, the HOA president, her designer coat screaming Riverview Elite CEO in gold stitching, as if subtlety was a foreign concept. Trailing her were 4 women, 2 looking like they'd rather be anywhere else, and 2 with the shifty eyes of people who knew they were up to no good. "Ethan," Vanessa called, striding toward my porch with the confidence of someone who'd never heard the word no. "Pack a bag. You're leaving for the weekend." I blinked, wondering if I'd misheard. Did this woman just show up at my house and order me to vacate like it was her personal Airbnb? I opened the door before she could start banging, because trust me, she would've. "My investors need this riverfront property for an exclusive business summit," she declared, gesturing at her entourage like they were A-list celebrities. "Your little inconvenience versus my empire. Choose wisely." I stood there, dumbfounded, and said the only thing that made sense. "Vanessa, this is my home, not a rental." That's when her polished facade cracked, revealing the entitled beast underneath. "Home?" she shrieked, her voice hitting pitches that probably sent local wildlife running. "You're losing this place by Monday anyway. I know about your debt." How did she know? I'd kept my financial mess private, but apparently, in Willow Creek, privacy was a myth when Vanessa Reed was involved. Her smug grin made my blood boil, and my hands started shaking not from fear, but from the anxiety that had been my shadow since the bills started piling up. One of her investors, a jittery woman clutching her phone, suggested finding a hotel, but Vanessa shut her down. "No, I promised them riverfront luxury," she snapped, going full tantrum mode on my porch. When I held firm, refusing to budge, she lost it completely. "Do you know who I am?" she bellowed, pointing at herself like she was some mogul instead of a small-town HOA tyrant. "I built Riverview Elite from nothing. Empire?" She ran a homeowners association, not a Fortune 500 company. Her investors shifted awkwardly as she ranted about my jealousy and small-mindedness. I almost laughed, but the memory of Grandma's words stopped me cold. "Never let bullies win, Ethan. They count on you being too tired to fight." I was broke, stressed, and exhausted, but I wasn't about to let this wannabe CEO steal my grandmother's legacy. "The answer is no," I said, staring her down. The rage on her face was priceless. She wasn't used to defiance. She stormed back to her Range Rovers, but not before hissing, "You'll regret this by Monday." What did she have planned to make her so sure she could ruin me? Saturday morning, I woke to someone pounding on my door like they were trying to break it down. A postal worker, looking apologetic, handed me a stack of certified mail thicker than a novel. "Ethan Brooks, you've got a delivery." Inside were 4 envelopes marked urgent, HOA violations. My heart sank as I tore them open. The charges were absurd. My dock was 4 inches too wide. My bird feeder was disrupting the ecosystem. My window screens were aesthetic violations, and me favoritemi patio chairs were improperly positioned, with $500 daily fines starting immediately. The kicker? I had to vacate by Monday for mandatory contractor remediation. The timing was too perfect, coming hours after I'd defied Vanessa. Coincidence? No way. Rage replaced my usual anxiety as I called my sister, Lauren. I'm drowning, I admitted, spilling everything about the debt, the foreclosure notice, and now this HOA nonsense. Lauren, always the voice of reason, said, Ethan, you're a tech guy. Dig into this. Something's off. She was right. The violations were too convenient. I photographed the letters, zooming in on the details, and noticed something that made my stomach lurch. All the board signatures were identical. Not just similar, exactly the same, down to the pen strokes. Even Mrs. Clara Thompson's, a 75-year-old with shaky hands, looked like it came from a laser printer. I called Clara, who answered cheerfully. Ethan, dear, I've been in Richmond visiting my daughter all week. I haven't signed anything. Bingo. Fueled by righteous anger, I drove to Vanessa's mansion in the ritzy part of Willow Creek, where egos were bigger than the lots. Her front yard was a circus of Riverview elite, banners, pyramid charts, and glossy posters screaming, millionaires mentor millionaires. Her 4 investors were rehearsing fake testimonials, and the whole setup screamed scam. Holding up the violation letters, I said, These signatures look forged, Vanessa. For a split second, panic flashed in her eyes, but she recovered with a smug. Emergency protocols require swift action. Efficiency trumps bureaucracy. Translation: she'd faked the signatures to push me out. Vanessa was paranoid about recording. She patted me down for devices, missing my smartwatch, which was quietly capturing everything. My car's dash cam was also rolling, filming through her window. How do emergency approvals work when board members are unavailable? I asked casually. She smirked. Community safety demands executive decisions. Gotcha. While she took a heated phone call, pacing her yard, I spotted financial documents on her patio table, a $92,000 withdrawal from the HOA fund, and a matching deposit to Riverview Elite, dated the same day. That wasn't just any number, it was my exact medical debt. This wasn't random theft. It was a calculated attack to seize my cabin. My IT instincts kicked in. A quick search revealed Riverview Elite was under investigation for securities fraud, with Better Business Bureau complaints about pyramid schemes and fake promises. Social media showed 2 of Vanessa's investors had criminal records, one for wire fraud, another on probation. The other 2 were naive victims, sucked into her lies. Vanessa was running a criminal empire with felons and desperate dreamers, too greedy to vet her recruits properly. When she returned, I played dumb. Maybe I should join Riverview Elite, I said. Her eyes lit up like I'd handed her a blank check. She launched into a presentation of glossy charts and impossible returns, confessing how she used HOA funds as startup capital and bypassed approvals. Every word was recorded, nailing her coffin shut. Then my phone buzzed. Motion detected at cabin. Security footage showed Vanessa's crew inside my house, rearranging Grandma's furniture like they owned it. One was live streaming, gushing about their new headquarters. I raced back, fury burning through me. My cabin looked like a corporate retreat from hell. Grandma's recliner shoved aside, her handmade table pushed against the wall, wine bottles open on my counter. Vanessa greeted me like I was a guest. Welcome to Riverview Elite's Riverfront HQ. When I demanded they leave, she spouted more nonsense about community asset utilization. One of her cronies whispered, "This feels illegal," but Vanessa snapped, "Sacrifice for prosperity." The disrespect to Grandma's memory hit me like a punch. I remembered her last words, "Protect this place, Ethan." My voice was low but firm. "Get out now." The room froze. Vanessa exploded, screaming about her empire and throwing papers, her meltdown rivaling a toddler's tantrum. "I'll destroy you," she shrieked, shoving a fake rental agreement in my face. I called her bluff. "Go ahead, call 911. She did, hysterically claiming I was threatening successful businesswomen. Big mistake. Deputy Carter, who'd dealt with Vanessa's drama before, arrived looking exhausted. "Miss Reed, 5th call this month." Vanessa played the victim, fake tears and all, but I calmly showed Carter my evidence. Security footage of the break-in, recordings of Vanessa's confessions, and forged documents. Her face went white as her own words played back. Carter ran IDs, and the radio crackled. 2 of her investors had outstanding warrants. Handcuffs clicked fraud for one, probation violation for the other. The innocent women bolted, horrified they'd been duped. Vanessa, still ranting about her legitimate empire, was arrested for embezzlement, fraud, trespassing, and false reporting. Neighbors flooded my driveway, sharing years of Vanessa's abuse. Fines for mailboxes, birdhouses, even ugly flowers. Her live-streamed meltdown went viral, racking up millions of views. Detective Sarah Hayes revealed Vanessa's scheme had stolen $92,000 from 30 homeowners. The community rallied, ousting Vanessa's rules and electing Clara as treasurer. My debt was covered by victim restitution, and property values soared without Vanessa's tyranny. A year later, in October 2025, I hosted a massive riverfront barbecue. The cabin gleamed, Grandma's furniture restored, the community alive with laughter. Carter, flipping burgers, grinned. No HOA complaints since Vanessa. She got 18 months in jail, her mansion foreclosed to pay victims. Her divorce left her with nothing. Then, a package arrived, Vanessa's prison letter, pitching a blockchain opportunity. I framed it beside my community hero plaque, a reminder of her delusion. Her scam inspired the REIT Accountability Act, mandating HOA audits nationwide. My story empowered others to fight corrupt boards. As the sun set over the river, I felt Grandma's pride. But can people like Vanessa ever change? Could she still be scheming from jail? Should we pity or condemn those who destroy lives for their own gain? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if justice felt sweet, and subscribe because you won't believe what's coming next.